Okay. See if anyone actually turns up. Probably not. It's been a long, 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 long time since I've done this. That would help if I mute myself. Yeah. 3 people watching. Awesome. All right, I'm going to try and watch the chat up here. I will try and ensure that I glance up occasionally to see that. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me do that. Oh, it does say 3 here now. Interesting. Running one of these things through Hangouts on Air is still a little clumsy because the chat is in YouTube, not in Hangouts. But I need to do all the control from Hangouts, obviously. So let's share that screen. You want to see my ugly mug. All right. That'll come through on the YouTube thing in a second. Let's just check that's working. Oh, it is. Look, you can see my VS. Awesome. All right, so we have a bug on Live ASP.NET that some of you watching a few weeks ago would have seen. And I have not even, I just cloned it right now. I hadn't done any coding on this laptop since I rebuilt it a while ago, honestly. I haven't done any coding in such a long time. So this will be quite hysterical, I'm sure. I just cloned it. I updated VS this morning to 15.5 or yesterday. And I built it and I ran it, but it failed to run. So if I try, in fact, I might have that open still. Do I have the failed run open? No. So what I did is, I don't have it right. I want to prove to you that it failed, but that's all right. I didn't have .NET Core 1.15 installed or 1.1 anything. Because the Live ASP.NET side is still running on 1X. Although I have done a bunch of work to port it to 2.0, it hasn't been deployed yet, and it needs to be rebased on top of all the other cookie compliance GDPR work that's been happening on all the Microsoft sites. And so I haven't done that yet because I just haven't had the time. I haven't prioritized it. So I just went and downloaded the missing runtime. So for folks who find themselves in that situation, and that's classically, you set up a new machine. By default, VS now only comes with 2X. Especially if you started with VS 15.3 or later, which is 15.4, sorry, which is the version that we shipped 2.0 in, which obviously this machine did because it's a fairly new build. So I didn't have 1X, and so I tried to run an app with 1X, and I just got the IS Express 502.3 error that says, and you say, well, the app didn't start. If I'd gone and enabled logging and everything, I'd gone to the command line, it would have told me it couldn't find NetCore app 1 point whatever. So I just downloaded the runtime. So I went to the download site for .NET Core, and all I did was grab this one. So it says long-term support 1.15, and I clicked on this link here. So this gives me the x64 installer for the .NET Core runtime. So I did that. You can see it down here. I haven't run it yet. Actually, so the app probably still fails. So if I go to my folder, so this is my .NET Core installation folder where the runtimes are, the shared frameworks. I wish we wouldn't call them by multiple names, but on the website they're called runtimes. We call them shared frameworks internally. So yeah, you can see that there's no 1. It's all 2.0 and 2.03, which are the only 2 versions of 2.0 that we've shipped. And so I haven't actually run this yet. And so if I go back and I run this, you should see it fail rather than me explaining it to you. Running it from VS, it's booting up. IS Express is booting. .NET XE is booting up my app. And then it just says, nope, process failure, doesn't work. And again, obviously I guessed what the problem was, but if you want to know for sure, there's a couple ways you could do it. You could drop down and in the launch debug thing and say, hey, Live ASP, I want to run the app directly or the project directly rather than running through IS Express. So if I click that, you can see it changes to the name of the project, and I hit Control F5 again. It'll run it as a console app. It won't put IS Express in front of it. See, I got an error, which is interesting. Somewhere. Oh, that made a liar of me. I think you love it when it makes a liar of you. Well, the surefire way of doing this is just to go to the command line and run it there. So here I am. I'm in the command line. Let me make the font a little bit bigger. Yoop, yoop, yoop. 20, and of course that goes off the screen now. All right. So if I run it from here, I could do .NET Run, or I could run the pre-compiled thing. The compiled thing doesn't really matter. Because I haven't installed this runtime yet, which is what this app still targets. you share. See, look at that. Specified framework netcore app 112 was not found. Check application dependencies and targeted version installed at /. That seems a little wrong. I guess it means this project. / means the current folder I'm in. I guess that's what that means. And alternatively, install the framework version 112. Well, again, that message could be a little deceiving because I just installed 115, and like, how would you even know? Like, I don't know where I got 112 from. That's actually super interesting. 112, because my project itself actually targets. If we go and look at the CS proj, so you can see here it targets netcore app, 1.1, doesn't have a patch version. You typically don't specify the patch version, and then that's it. So I think what it's getting it from is the implied package. This one over here, the Microsoft netcore app package. So that one in my graph is likely to be version 112. I guess. I don't know why, but it is. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It does seem to match the version at line 3 there. And if I search in here, find it. Just the SDK reference. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could look. If we go into the folder and go into the bin folder, debug, look in netcore app 1.1, and we look at the runtime config JSON file, this is where the metadata that's used to boot the application from the command line lives. So you can see it right here, right? Here it is. The build system burnt in the version of the shared framework or the runtime that it was looking for. So there's my TFM, and there's the version it's looking for, 112. I don't exactly know where that came from, though. I'm assuming that must come from the SDK. It's just the default. I'm not sure why it's not 110. I thought it would be 110. Anyway, so it says you don't have 112. So I just downloaded that. So let's install that. If I go back to the browser where I did that and run this installer, live dangerously, install stuff while I'm live coding. What could possibly go wrong? Just do that. All right, so that succeeded. So in an ideal world, I would just run this again and it would just work. It's just stuff on disk. Look at that. It worked. So command line works. If I go back to VS now, and I can get rid of that, and I launch from here again. All right, so there you go. See, it launched that time. I still had it set to the direct profile, so it's actually launched a console app and then launched the browser, and it's kind of working. Obviously, some things aren't working because my CSS isn't working. So let's exit that. I'll come back to IS, and if I hit F5 in this window, I wonder if it'll just start. Nope. I have to go back to VS, change this back to IS Express. We'll hit Control F5 to launch that again. Yes. Getting lots of email. Probably should turn that off, shouldn't I? All right, so that's good. Site's running. I don't have any static files though, which is interesting. So let's have a look at that. I don't like, you can tell I have not done any development on this machine because it's just not set up the way I usually would have it. All right, so let's refresh this site. So I'm getting a 404 for, okay, so it looks like gulp hasn't run because I rely on gulp to do all that. And so what's very likely to have happened, I don't have it set up to run gulp as part of the build. It only runs it as part of publish. I've been meaning to fix this, but again, it's just not high on my priority list. So I have to come, I did install gulp. I did that before. So if I just run gulp in the root, that will bootstrap. There you go. So now all my static files should be in the right place. If I come back to the browser and hit F5, oh, it's magical. Now it all works. Look at that. So the site is running. It's running with test data because I haven't set up this machine, as I keep saying. So it doesn't have any of the user secrets to store my YouTube API key. So it's not pulling live data from YouTube. But none of that really matters for the purposes of the bug that we're trying to fix. So the bug that we are trying to fix was that a code change was made. Let's go find it. Go look at the history here. There was a code change made. I think it's this one here. I think it was that one. No, it was the earlier one. It was this one. For all the cookie compliance stuff. And one of those added, one of the changes made here was that it adds a bunch of JavaScript. Yes, see, into home.js. And this JavaScript is required now when there is a live show. This JavaScript is required to be loaded for the site to function. Because what it does is it ensures that it doesn't actually, when you go to the site and there's a live show running, it doesn't load the iframe from YouTube until you interact with the site. Again, this is part of the cookie consent thing. There's a message at the top of the page. It says, hey, you're going to use cookies if you use this site. You got to be good with that. And then as soon as you click anywhere that's interactive, then things get replaced, and that may result in cookies coming down. Now, because this iframe is loading stuff from YouTube, it almost certainly causes cookies from YouTube to come down. And so that's why this sort of bait and switch occurs. Now, the problem is this script does not render as a link on the home page unless specific conditions are true, and those conditions were not updated as a result of this new requirement that this script has to be loaded all the time if there is a live show. Previously, that wasn't true. So let's go and fix that. I guess I could replicate the issue, couldn't I? Maybe? I don't know. Really should do that if I'm going to be super bug fixy mode, where I should replicate the bug first. But getting this stuff set up can be a little pain. Getting the MSCC stuff set up. All right, I'm just going to assume that it repros because we saw it repro last time. The fix should be really simple. If I go to my home, I think, is it here? I have a partial called YouTube. No, live show partial. Here it is. So this is the partial view that contains the HTML that does the live show embedding. You can see it right here. This is the stuff that changed. They added this data iframe. But nothing in here renders the script, you can see, right? So the script is actually rendered, I think, in the layout page, because I think it's at the end. So if I go to layout page, scroll down to the script section. Nope. Let's have a look. Nope. There's my login partial script. So it'll be in the home page, obviously, because that's where it all comes together, right? Yep. So here's the home page. If I go down to the script section, here we go. Yeah. See this? If next show is scheduled, only if the next show is scheduled, then render this link. And that's because previously, the only reason you needed this JavaScript was because the home page has that countdown timer if there is a show scheduled. So if we go back and look at the site now, which I think is here, running locally, I have no show scheduled, right? None, because I just got this machine going. And so if I look at the application, I think it is, if I go to the, well, I guess I just go to sources. Here we go. There isn't any JavaScript loaded. See? So the site doesn't actually load any JavaScript unless it needs it. That was the optimization I was trying to make 2 years ago when I wrote this. But if I go to the admin screen for this could fail horribly. In fact, this will fail horribly because I have not set this up. If I go to the admin screen, I'm pretty sure this is going to fail. Oh, wow. No, it just worked. Well, I should just ignore that. Maybe I did set this up. Anyway, so if I set a next Tuesday, if I do this, oh, wow. See that? Looks like something else has changed, and I've got some bullet points showing up in my menu. Oh, fantastic. So let me save that. Go back to the home page and hit refresh. So I get my countdown now, and let's have a look. Where is... so now I have... Oh, it gets embedded. See, I'm forgetting everything. Does it get embedded? Where is it? There it is. There it is. Yeah, so there's the home JavaScript. See, the home JavaScript is embedded in the home page. Right? And if I go back to here, that's because I've got this inline equals true thing on here, even in development. I don't think I meant that. I actually think I only meant to inline it when it was in production. Let me get rid of that. Might make it easier to demonstrate. Let's save that. Save. There we go. Save that. Refresh the page. Okay, there we go. Now you can see the JavaScript's being loaded separately. There's my home.js. And then if I go back to the admin screen, just to really prove the point, remove the next date so that there is no show scheduled. Hit save, then go back to the home page, hit F5. We should see no JavaScript loaded. There we go. So no JavaScript. So that's the current logic. That's buggy now because you also need to load it if there is currently a live show. Now I could just like give up and say, just always render the home JavaScript. But why would I do that? Let's fix it properly. So if there's a next show scheduled or model is on air, right? That's saying that there is currently a show. Then you have to render this script. Now, I have to do it twice because there's the development case and there is the production, other environments case. Okay. Now, remember, this is still ASP.NET Core 1.x, so I don't have the new version of this tag helper that I can do exclude and include here. But anyway, so I could leave it like this, or I could say, you know what, I don't really want my view making this conditional Boolean expression, and I could actually codify this in the model, but yeah, I don't know. You could argue this. This is literally just to do with, does the view need to render some extra script? I don't know. We could have a long philosophical debate about what the right thing is to do here. Should I create another property on the model that does this all for me there, and it's called something like model dot requires client side script or some garbage? But this is probably fine. Let's leave the view concerns in the view. In this case, the view is the one that owns the JavaScript. So I think it's fine to leave it this way. All right, so that should be it. That should be all I need to actually fix this bug. Question is, how do I test this locally before I just push this and go YOLO? So if I was going to test this, what would I do? What would I do? Why have I got 2 cache blocks here with that in there? That looks weird. What's this common script? I don't remember that one. You love rediscovering old code. So yeah, see, that was part of the cookie thing too. Okay, so in staging production, we cache, because that's inline. That's why that's wrapped in cache, by the way. Okay, I don't want inline in development. Get rid of that. Go for either of those. And you do want that all the time, but you only want to render these if you've got an extra. And I would argue that this cache should probably just go around the whole thing. So I would probably remove that, stick that there. Again, that's cached because of the inlining. I only want that to happen. Wow, that formatting really didn't work well. I only want the inlining to occur once, obviously, and so I wrap it in a cache tag helper to ensure that it only gets inlined once. Okay. I think that's fine. So we always render the common, and then only if we're on air. Oh, well, that's why you do it that way. I've just realized my mistake. Because if you do that, then it obviously only gets evaluated once. So obviously you do need to undo everything I just did, because you want those cache blocks to be evaluated separately, and you want the if statement to be not cached. So you need to have that outside the cache block. Silly me. All right. I'll put this one back though. I don't want that to be inlined. I want those to be there. Let's make sure it still renders. So far, so good. So now you can see I'm rendering my common.js from inside using an external file, which makes it easier during development, and then only in staging production is it being inlined. All good, all good. Okay. And if it's next show is scheduled, then we run set next show details. Okay, that all seems to work. We just tried that. Let me just verify that again. Let's do this. That's not next Tuesday, is it? Let's do that. Okay, come back here, hit F5. Countdown still works. I don't have any JavaScript errors. That's good. I should probably do a local publish and then run it from the command line in production, just to like see that it all works before I try and deploy it up to the staging site to save myself the inevitable heartache when I've obviously forgotten something. So why don't we try that? I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Let's try. Let's do this. We'll do a release configuration, publish locally. Now this all by default just publishes it into a subfolder of the bin folder. And then I'm just going to navigate to there and just run it directly without IES. So the app will now be running as, the same way it will in Azure in terms of the files it contains, because it's been published. And then it will, let's have a look. Maybe I should turn off the thing, right? You can something, right mouse click, turn on, don't show, turn on quiet. I guess that works. I don't know. I thought there was a way to just like suspend alerts for a period of time. Don't show. Yeah, I'll just turn on quiet hours. All right. So it's in bin. So we're looking here. Release. That's what I just did. TFM, publish folder. All right. So here I am. Here's my published app. 1.1, remember? So I'm carrying all the ASP.NET stuff with me. And I'll do .NET live.asp.net.dll. That's going to run it. That probably won't work. I'm sure there's some config thing that's broken, or because I'm running from a different environment. I'm sure something won't work. Let's find out. Host 5000. Pretty sure this won't work. Well, it kind of worked. So that's somewhat of a start. Didn't see any errors. So let's go and try and log in. That one. See if this works. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Because I haven't set up all the app secrets to do the public login, I have for development. I haven't for production, obviously, because in development, it's all coming from user secrets, but in the production environment, it doesn't. So I'm just going to trust the app started, which is a great sign. So that's a good enough test. I'm just going to publish it now. So to do that, I just need to commit it back to the repo. So where am I? Not there. Let's go back to the repo. And we'll commit these changes. Sure, homepage JS is rendered live shows or when on air. Yeah. I don't think I've even committed from this machine, so I'll probably have to sign in. What is that file? That looks like new. That looks new. Well, I don't want that committed, so I'll just ignore that. Oh, that's a NPM thing. Huh. I think I want that excluded, don't I? We'll worry about that later. Okay, so I updated that file. You can see just how little I've been coding recently. All this stuff is new to me. Did I double click on that? Is it just thinking? Is it just really, really thinking? No, don't want to give me a diff. No, I feel like I've done something horribly wrong. No. Why did my package JSON change, actually? Lines added, lines removed. None, but it's modified. Why is my diff? I got a feeling this is like off screen or something. Where is it? No. Well, come on. At least let me see the diff. I don't want to have to do this from some god-awful tool. No. Actually, no. I wonder if VS will let me see the diff. Here. Does it let me see the diff? If I do this? Yeah. My machine is making noise. It's being picked up on the mic now, which is unfortunate. I can hear it through my headphones. Look at that. All right. Yes, I changed there. I changed that. That all makes sense. Very good. And what did I do here? Nothing. They are identical. No changes, but it got marked as dirty for whatever reason. Oh, well, so we'll just ignore that. All right, I'll commit that and push that. This will probably fail. Yeah, look, I got to log in. Whoop, whoop. Let's move this to a different screen. Logging in to GitHub. Trying to find my password. Chrome not really helping me here at all. What we'll do is you can see my face while doing this because my browser is not it's not what's the word I'm looking for? Not cooperating. So let's do this. All right. Come on. Security is the enemy of usability. But, you know, we put up with it anyway. All right. Paste. Two-factor stuff, no doubt. Yep. So let me do that. See, I just don't code enough these days. All right. We're in. My username. Oh, wait, what? Put my password in again. Oh, red. That doesn't look good. Authentication failed? What? I don't get the feeling that this is not going swimmingly. Let's try this again. I need to get to, I'm assuming it committed, it just failed to push. I might do it from the command line. There we go. Yep. Do this again. Oh, that'll be why. Helps if you put the right numbers in and not the one from some other random two-factor account you have in your app. Amazing, it works now. Oh, let's share my screen again. Probably should have thought to do that before I started presenting. Hey, all right. Okay, very good, very good. Let's come back down here. So that seems to have been pushed. So if I go back to the portal, and I see here it says it's building. Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, look, tortoise get merged finally came up. That was weird. So if I click here in the portal, you can see that the continuous deployment using Kudu in Azure App Service has already picked that up. Although it's not particularly responsive here, is it? Click. I see lots of little progress bars, but not an awful lot of navigation going on. I might have to be, wow, things are getting really angry here. What's going on? Oh, it's not good. What's using all myself? TortoiseKit client. Let's kill that. Wow, that was super angry. There we go. Go away. There we go. Calm down. We calm down. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Wow, desktop window manager using 15% of my CPU. I'm going to hit F5. I know I shouldn't do it. I'm just going to hit refresh in the portal. I know it's a spa and I know it's sacrilege, but I'm just impatient. People are watching. All right, this thing still spins. I don't know why it's doing that, but this says building, which is good, right? That SHA there, I'm assuming, is the one I just committed. And I can check that because we can go up to live ASP.NET. Oop, not that one. Like so. There's my SHA. 9D, there it is. Click on that, and nothing happens. Come on. I really wanted to like watch the deployment take place. That was kind of the deal, not whatever this is doing. Should I clear some cookies or something? This is what we all do, right? We just get impatient and then we just try stuff. It's like, well, I'll just clear some cookies and something. Of course, if I knew how to use Edge, how do you even clear the cookies in Edge these days? No, it's a debugger. I guess I could do that. Clear cookies. I'm sure that like broke everything. Let me have 5. Okay, fine. Still logged in, so that's a good sign. I'm surprised though. I thought clearing the cookies would have done something. So, okay, I might give up on the deep link. I'm clicking. Wow. I'm clicking on this, expecting it to deep link me in, but I might just go and click on that. See if that works. No. Let's go to app services. There we go. So that works. I'll just do it the hard way. Wow, this is like super not responsive, is it? I want to see that all the time. Where is that? Okay. Nope. I made it angry. I made it super angry. Does it switch slot staging production? Yeah, so I have my Kudu stuff set up to sync to staging only. So every time I commit, it redeploys staging. And then once I've verified that it works on staging, I go in and do a slot swap to production. So I can't deploy directly to production. I don't have that set up, probably for good reason. So yeah, every commit goes automatically from GitHub into staging, and then I verify in staging, and then if it's all good, I do the switch and it ends up in prod. Now, this is all assuming I can actually get to the portal to do it, because I do not do this frequently enough that I have some flow that uses the command line or anything. I just rely on this stuff working. I mean, it says it's building. That was only 4 minutes ago. So this can take up. I mean, I've done a deployment for a long time, and a cold deployment on Kudu can take a while for ASP.NET Core because of the amount of packages involved. So we're looking at improving that as part of the 2x work. So this could take about 10 minutes, which means that this could still be correct. It could absolutely still be doing this, but I really, 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 really just want to go and see the site. But the portal is like super unhappy with me right now. wonder if I was to take this off screen, see if I can log in into a different one. But it does, eh? You can watch the one that I had up already. I surreptitiously go and sign in again in a new browser, and we'll see which one wins, if either of them. So my second one is logging in, still logging in. Okay, it's gone back to the portal. It's loading. And now I basically have the same screen that you're looking at, but I'm looking at it in a fresh, in private window. If I click on the active deployment, I get no visual. Oh, no, it worked. Look at that. So it's definitely something with my, so let's close that and I'll bring this one down here. There we go. All right. So it is building. Unfortunately, you can't look at it while it's deploying. You can only see the log after it's finished, unless you do a command line deployment and you push directly to the remote Git repo that Kudu sets up for you. Then it'll sort of stream the log back to you as part of the Git commit. But if I'm doing it with CI or CD, I should say, where it's hooked to GitHub, I don't know of any way of watching it live. You just have to sit here and watch it spin around. So it started at 251. No, that was the last update. So it started, like in the other window, I think it started at 246. So we're about 5 minutes in. Hopefully this will just work. And then I can do a bit of a live test, and we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works on the staging side before I then flip it over. So in the meantime, see if I can find something else to talk about while we're waiting. Yeah, this is 15.5, VS 15.5. There has been a bunch of cross-cutting sort of changes that affect performance in the. Oh, look at that! Didn't even get very far. Here we go. So let's click on that. It says it succeeded, and it took, yeah, okay. So it took about 6 minutes, a bit over 6 minutes. All right. So let's go to the staging site, which is where I am. Let's go to that URL and see if it works. So let's copy that. So it's the thing about Edge. Like, I just hit enter to paste that in, and there's literally no visual indication that the address bar has accepted that. So I don't know if it worked. I pasted it and I hit enter. So I hit enter again. Now it disappeared. So is it doing something? I don't know. I'll paste it again. I'll hit enter and it disappears. So is that working? I'm going to leave that there and I'll go, now see, it was working, but there was literally no visual feedback that it was doing anything. This is why I just can't make Edge my daily driver. I can't do it. Anyway, the site rendered. That's a good sign. And I really only want to be in Edge for the admin screen. So I'm going to let that load. I'm going to go back over to Chrome for the public homepage side of it. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to check my console just to make sure there's no errors or anything. I like to do that. I didn't introduce any new JavaScript errors. All right, let's go back to here. Good, loaded. Let me clear the next show date and hit save. There's a few different states here I want to test. So we'll hit F5. Okay, there's no show date now. So there's no show scheduled and there's no live show currently, which means that there should be no JavaScript, which there isn't, and there shouldn't be there's nothing embedded either, right? There's no JavaScript embedded in the page because you saw all that logic before, right? The only stuff that's there is the loading stuff like jQuery for Bootstrap. All right, which came from here, which is why that's down there. So let's go and change this. Let's go and let's put a YouTube show in. And well, this is the bug, right? Like we would have the show here and we would not have a date. So we'll save this. So there's no show scheduled, but there is a live show. So now in theory, if I hit F5, I should get some JavaScript, I think. So let's hit F5. Let's go here. Did it work? Did it render the home? Doesn't look like it did. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is because it's all inlined. So that's the home.js file that's been inlined and stripped because it was minified as part of the build process and then it's been stripped. So that line wasn't there before. So that's good. That's good. And it should mean that now when you click on this, it will replace it with the iframe, which it is. You get a couple of errors here, but that's fine. It actually ran. So that's good. I think I fixed it. That's what it looks like. Oh, Shane, AZ web app log tail. So does that work? Does that work if the site is currently being deployed to from Kudu? It'll just pick up the current thing. Is that how that works? What if my app is still running? And when I get the log tail from the app, like how does it know that to show the log tail from the deployment rather than from the app? I don't understand how that works. Oh, maybe it does. Yes, that's what it's for. Okay. Interesting. I thought the log tail also, I thought it also showed you the logs live from the website when it was running. And so if I've configured app service to turn on application logging, I can look at the log tail for the live running site. But maybe when you start a publish through Kudu, name resource group, okay, maybe the Kudu publish takes over the log tail or something until the publish is finished. All right, so that happened and seems to be working. And so I guess the only other thing I haven't tried is that with a live show with a date. So I should just check that just to be really, really sure. So let me refresh. So now I have, see, that's interesting. I got a JavaScript error, which is a little odd. When did that happen? Obviously it's minified. Yay. There. Data dash and yes. So that is the, I know what that is. That's not worth fixing. That'll go away in production. That's interesting. I could fix that, you know. I could just make that code more resilient. Let me do that because that's kind of bug. That's kind of annoying. All right, let's do that. So down here, the problem is this code here, this code that was added is assuming that, is it this code? Oh God, now I'm not too sure. Get attribute. This code here. Yeah. Attribute of name. What's the error? Cannot read property get attribute of null. So someone is calling that, passing in null. Okay, so who calls this? Me. Okay. Yep. So this is a flow-on bug. Now that I'm rendering this script all the time, this script never used to get called when the show was on air, basically. And so now I have to ensure that this method doesn't get called if you're currently on air, because the elements that it's assuming to be there will not be there when you're on air. So I could either update all this JavaScript to be resilient to the fact that this method here is getting called from down here. So this here could check the layout of the document first before it tries to do stuff, or I could just not call this method unless the show is on air, which is the much easier fix. So if I go back to the index page and see here, so that should now only be happening if there is a show scheduled and model.is air is false. Makes sense? So now we're only going to run this client-side JavaScript that starts the countdown if the show is scheduled and we're not currently on air. All right. So that little fix here, I'm going to completely YOLO push that one because I think I know it well enough that that's just going to fix it. I didn't even try and run it. That's so cowboy. Don't try to run client countdown. Yes, if on air. Okay. Good. I won't try double clicking that again because that just ended in pain and misery last time. And what I'm going to hope this time, first of all, that this pushes without failing because I've actually authenticated this time and it remembered it. Perfect. And that where's the portal? There it is. And that this deployment will be much quicker this time. So if I go to my deployment options, that webhook should have already fired by now. You can see that. So so that's going to build. That should take a lot less than the 6 minutes it took last time because it's hot, it's warm. So let's see if it proves me right. Hopefully it only takes like a minute this time. And then if that's the end, which, you know, Might be. It seems like a really simple bug, but I'm still sort of walking around the rabbit warren right now, trying to find my way out. That should prevent. That will still get rendered, but this won't get called. This will go away, right? Because it's on air and none of the elements are there. And so hopefully I've fixed the bug proper. I think that's why it was worthwhile me testing that last state. I nearly didn't. Where we had, where was it? Where we had a show scheduled and we had a live show. I nearly didn't test that. That's the third state. We have a state where all these fields are empty. We have a state where we have a live show but no show scheduled. And we have a state where there is no live show currently, but we do have a show scheduled. And I need to make sure I test those each time. Press the thingy button in Chrome to reformat the minified JavaScript. Yes. Does that work for inline? I guess it does. I don't know. I've never tried. So if I do, like that's this thing here. If I do the pretty print, it does. I mean, it does. Obviously, it's still minified, right? But at least now you can tell that, yeah, there it all is. You know, it was being inlined correctly. Thank you. I did know that. It's just one of those things that, because I don't use this stuff very often, you just forget and you skip over. All right. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that's been deployed? Let's go back. I said it would take a minute. I said it took 6 minutes the first time, right? Let's have a look. If I come here, the last one took 383 seconds according to Kudu, which is what, 6 minutes and 23 seconds? I want this one to take at least half that. That would be nice. I thought it would be much quicker, honestly. Come on. Come on. And if I had the Azure SDK installed, Shane, I would go and try it out, but I don't have it installed. See? Don't do this. I know I'm a bad person. I should install it. I wonder if I could install it and get this working in the time it's going to take to deploy. Shane, which Azure SDK CLI should I install? Is it just one now, or should I install a PowerShell one, or is it a Python one, or like, what do I do? I'm showing my ignorance. Where is it? If I go and say Azure CLI for Windows, AZ Cloud Shell. You mean if I do it in the portal? Is that what you mean, John? I guess I could do that. I keep forgetting the Cloud Shell exists. Oh, it looks finished now. Too late. Too bad. So you're saying if I click this, use the one in the portal. Yeah, but look, it's going to take up to a minute to initialize, John. So sorry. I could just click this now and see how long it took me. 146 seconds. Well, that's a lot quicker than 383, whatever it was. So, all right, let's see if it fixed it. Let's hit F5, get the admin screen loading. Waiting for response. Waiting for response. The 2.0 version of this site starts a lot quicker. I really, really should find. Well, now it's December and all my meetings are being cancelled. Maybe I will finally get this site updated to 2.0. It's going to be a horrible merge I have to do. I did squash all my 2.0 changes into a single commit so that at least when I do the rebase, it's a single commit I have to rebase in. But I moved so many files around, obviously as part of moving to 2.0, because I moved the whole thing to Razor Pages, that I'm not looking forward to it. But I have to do it. All right, so that's there. So I should be able to go back and do this, and this is staging. I should have hit F5, and it's loaded the home page. And I don't know why that's yellow. I don't know what that means. But the important thing is I don't see an error. I got rid of the error. I haven't clicked it yet. If I click it, okay, this is fine. These errors are fine. This is all blocked by client Chrome protection garbage. That's fine. But the thing runs. That's what's important. The video is playing. That's good. And that's all good. I think we're good. So let me go back and test those other two states because I don't trust anything. Let me save that. I got rid of the live URL. Hit F5 so the countdown still works. No errors. Good. Get rid of that. Hit save. Get rid of that. Hit save. There we go. Hit F5. Yeah. So yeah, I do know. Once you set up the Cloud Shell, John's saying is it's set up once and it's there in the future because it needs a table storage backend. I thought I had done that. Maybe I hadn't. So I was a little surprised it was going to take that long. Right. So anyway, that seems to be working. So I feel confident enough now that I can switch this. There it is. That I can switch this over to production. So I'm going to go back to my deployment slots. We'll do a swap. And I will swap from staging to production. Click OK. I know what those warnings are. They're meant to be there. They're just those typical warnings that say if you've got app settings that are different between environments and they're not marked as slot settings, it always warns you that you're about to move this code into an environment that has different settings, settings that are marked up unique. But that's on purpose. I did that on purpose, obviously, because my environments have different settings because one's staging, one's production, and they talk to different things. All right, so that's running. All right, swapping. So let's watch that. And in theory, as soon as that has finished, I should be able to hit the live website and nothing should be broken, fingers crossed. And then we can all come back in another 40 minutes and we can actually, for the real show, not just me fuffing about. And as I said, we've got a bit more time, hopefully, in December. And so I'll take an off-screen look, an offline look at the 2.0 migration again, just to get a gauge of how painful it's going to be, given how much work has happened in the branch since then, in master. But I got to do it, and so I think I'll just schedule some time, and you can, and those who are interested can watch me pain through doing a rebase onto a code base that includes me moving from MVC views to Razor pages. That's not going to be an awful lot of fun. It might be easier to manually. It might just be easier to do all this manually in force push. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Terrible. I don't know. We'll see. Come on. Come on. Swapping. Swapping. Impatient. Oh, please. Swapping. Still swapping. What does it do if I click on that? Oh, just takes me there. Okay. A swap is in progress. You may not be able to make configuration change. I've never seen that banner before. That's pretty cool. I thought this should be done by now. Come on. Come on. Nope. Look at that. Just had to close it. All right. Big test. Live.asp.net. Wow, that was super quick. Almost like I don't believe it. Well, how do we know? I can look at the page source. I can scroll to the bottom. There's the commit that was deployed, F1C. Let's go back to live ASP.NET, hit F5 because I did another deployment. Look at that. F1, whoop, that doesn't work, sorry. F1C. Excellent. So it worked. It worked. I am now running the latest version in production. And I guess the ultimate test will be when we run the show in 36 minutes. But yeah, it seems to be working now. Let me just triple check my JavaScript errors. Oh, things are getting slow. Don't see any errors in the console. It's a good sign. Oh, things are lagging a bit though. Don't know what happened there. No, come on, catch up, little PC. Go. F5. Nope, still jiggling all over the place. Oh. Do events. Do events. No, Chrome's getting angry at me. Okay, well, I think it worked. There's no errors, so I think we're good. I think we are in a good place. So I'm going to close this down, clean up, make sure I don't have any outstanding commits here. Yes. Where am I? Oop. See it because it's under the little thing. What is that? Oh, so package lock. Do I have to go and learn about package lock? I'm assuming I'm supposed to exclude that. Right? I'm assuming where I'm supposed to exclude that. Rue's asking, can we close the cookies header? If you mean the banner across the top of the site, that will only show until you've interacted with the site in some way. And then when you go back, you'll see the banner's not there anymore. Okay, which is why it's not here for me. So yeah, if you click on one of the links, it should go away. So like one of the previous shows, then go to look at the show, come back to live ASP.NET, you should see that the banner's gone away. Yeah, so does someone want to tell me what this package lock is? I'm assuming I just have to not do it, like not, I should add it to my exclusion. npm package lock Jason, get ignore. Look at that. Looks like I am probably the 7 millionth person to ask this since I last used. Should we add package lock, Jason, to get ignore? Wow, this was months ago. I am way out of the loop. Come on. Chrome has gone super, super. +1, +1. And just create a package log. Yep, looks like it did. So let's do that while I'm here as well. Let's go to get ignore. Not there, in the root of the repo. In the root of the repo. Wow, everything is really laggy. Let's open this. UX-wise, user will look for an X button. Yeah, I don't control any of that, mate. So this is the site, like Microsoft.com site-wide policy. So I just do what I'm told. I'm not going to comment on that. It just is what it is. All right. So is that it? That's all it is, right? Ah, this is so slow. All right, we'll just put it under this one. Package .lock.json. I have no idea why everything is going so slow. All right. If I do a commit now, I don't know. I wonder if that's why. I wonder why my package.json got marked as dirty, even though. Yes. I think I have done this wrong because it's still showing it there. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Package.lock.json. That's right, right? Where is it? Package. Oh, dash lock. There we go. Hey, there we go. Exclude package dash lock.json. All right, now I think we're done. Now things, of course, that'll cause a deployment, even though it doesn't matter, but that's what CD does. So you can't do much about that. But that's all right. I think we're good. So I will see most of you, I hope, back here in how long? In 31 minutes. 31 minutes. So thank you for watching. And I'm going to try and find my Hangout window because it's buried deep here. There it is. And I will stop my screen sharing. And I'm back. And I'll be back in about half an hour. We'll see you then. Thank you all very much. Bye.